I think that what we will do is we will take a moment to pay tribute to our colleague, committee member, and councillor, Pat Culhane. Pat was a member of our committee for the past 2 years, and she was a great asset. Her tenacity, wit, and dedication to the city was outstanding. We will miss her, and we would like to pass along our deepest sympathy to her family and friends. Did any other committee member wish to make any comments? Carol?
No, she'll just really be missed. She was an asset, and I know she's watching over us while we're doing this, making sure we do a good job.
Thank you. Susan?
I just wanted to comment. I didn't really know Pat that well until she became an alternate on this committee. And back in the pre-COVID days, I really appreciated spending time with her and getting to know her a little bit and fully appreciating her sense of humor. And like Carol said, a tragedy. She will be missed by so many people.
Bill, do you have any further comment?
I would like to say that I only came to know Pat when she and I joined council together, and I warmed up to her instantly, and it was reciprocal. She spent a lot of time with me, helping me understand the inner workings of the city, and her contribution, I really feel over the great number of years, it's just been immeasurable to the community, and she is sorely missed.
Thank you. Robert, do you have any comment?
Yeah, I got to know Pat both on this committee as well as serving on the board for the Glanmore Museum. She was a wonderful asset to both, and even personally outside we interacted and had a few times where we got together outside of those roles, and she was just a wonderful person and definitely will be very much missed.
Thank you. Glenn and Chris, our other committee members aren't with us today, but I'm sure that our sentiments will be the same as theirs. So she will be missed, and we'll go forward from there. Okay.
Thanks, Brian.
What we're going to do is now call our meeting to order. Just try that again. The disclosure of pecuniary interest. Anyone have any today? I'll take that as a no. Okay. Our first application today is A2220 for a minor variance at 660, 670 Sydney Street in Belleville, and the owner is Gertzman GLC Developments Limited. And I do believe that there's someone who will be joining us for comment on that. But just before that happens, we'll just briefly, it's basically to do with a shortening of a space, a landscape buffer from the off-street parking from 1.5 meters to 0.9 meters, and reducing the landscaped area from 40 to 35%. Now, does any committee members have any comment before we hear from the applicant? No?
No.
Okay. Is the applicant with us? What was that?
Jared, the applicant, do we know? That's fine.
Oh, yeah.
On mute.
There we go.
Jared, you've been added?
Jared, are you
Good
there?
afternoon, or can you hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
you can hear you. Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any further comment on the application other than what the information that we have?
Nope.
Okay. Does any of the board members or committee members have any questions for Jared? It's a pretty simple application, I think. And Carol?
I'll make a motion to accept the request.
Okay, and we have a second here.
Second.
Susan,
You
any other
bet.
comment?
Let's get her
Oh.
done.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, our next application is B 27 and 2820 for consent, 649 Bell Boulevard, and the owner is George Hasenberger. And what we're looking at here, we have a large piece of property that wish to divide into 3 separate properties for further development. So does anyone have any questions or comments before we hear from the applicant? Or is the applicant? Is there anyone from, no one from that application going to be joining us?
Yeah, Caitlin.
Okay. I think Caitlin will be joining us.
Oh, here she is.
So Brian, I have a question before we start, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a severance that's basically taking a parcel of land up on Bell Boulevard and dividing it up into 3 pieces. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're going to take that large piece of property and divide it into 3 different lots, 2 at the front and then a long driveway, I guess, for lack of a better word, or private
Sure.
road down to the back piece of the property.
So my question is it normal for that type of request to come to the Committee of Adjustment rather than the Planning Advisory Committee? And if so, what's the difference?
Greg can maybe answer that, or Andrew.
Certainly, through the chair to Councillor Sanderson. I guess there are 2 different processes that could happen. One would be a plan of subdivision, or one would be consent, which we're viewing here. Typically, if you're looking at creating more than 5 parcels of land, you would go through a plan of subdivision. If you're looking at creating municipal road, you'd go through a plan of subdivision. But for simpler applications like this, it's not uncommon for it to come through the Committee of Adjustment instead. Staff has looked at it and has recommended that a driveway coming down would be best to maintain as a private driveway. So it was seen as appropriate for Committee of Adjustment to look at this.
Okay, thank you, Andrew.
Caitlin, do you have any comment?
I just wanted to mention that the owner of the land, he had somebody contact him, a buyer who was interested in developing. He said he wanted 20 to 25 acres, and so the owner said, "Oh, like I could do that." So he decided to put forward a severance application to create a piece big enough, the size that the buyer was interested in, and so he decided to just sever another piece, the smaller, around 10-acre piece, in case he gets another buyer. And so then he kept the 30-meter width, the retained piece in the middle. It'll be across from Jack Ellis Way, so it can be at the proper intersection location. And both severed pieces will have easement rights over the retained piece so that they can have proper entrances from the future big intersection at Jack Ellis Way.
Hey, Carol, I think you had a comment.
Well, she just answered it. I was going to ask if there was going to be some kind of mutual easement or right of way for both those parcels, and she was way ahead of me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, or Andrew?
I just wanted to inform that I did get a call from a member of the public. They were wondering about the easement and what the road was going to look like. At this stage, we don't really know. It would be handled during the site plan approval stage. The requested easement is only for access, so servicing and such will that can be still accessed through Bell Boulevard.
Okay. Anything else, Caitlin?
I was just going to mention that the sanitary sewer and the water main are on the south side of Bell Boulevard, so it'll be fairly straightforward to service the severed pieces right from Bell Boulevard. But you won't have to cross the road or anything because they're both on the south side there.
Okay.
So that'd be the intention, is that the future developer would do their own servicing from Bell Boulevard directly. There wouldn't be a mutual line down the retained piece.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, concerns? And I don't believe there's anyone else in the public that wishes to make any comment. If not, motion to
All right.
move by Robert, seconded by Bill. All in favor of approving? Carried. Thank you. Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Okay. Our next application is an application for consent at B 2920, and it's Sunningdale Drive, and the applicant is Ruth Ferguson Althout, and the owner is Adrian Back Settlers Ridge Development. And this again is a large piece of property, and they are proposing to sever off a lot to in the neighborhood of about 1.3 hectares. So does anybody have any questions before we hear from the planner?
No?
And who would be joining us from RFA?
I believe we have Carolyn Ross.
Okay,
There she is.
there we go, Carolyn. Oh, she hasn't joined us yet.
She's, you're there.
I'm
You hear us,
here.
Carolyn?
I am here.
Okay, thank you for joining us. So what we're looking at here, we got a large piece of property and you're severing off 1.3 hectares off the large portion. Is that correct for development?
There I am. Okay.
There you are.
Yes, our client wishes to sever a 1.3 hectare lot with frontage of 74 meters on Sunningdale Drive for the purpose of constructing a single detached unit. The severance complies with the city's official plan policies, and the zoning bylaw requirements are met in terms of lot area and lot frontage. The severance exceeds both. It's an appropriate extension of the existing rural residential character of the area on Sunningdale. And I would be pleased to answer any questions that the committee might have.
Anyone have any questions or concerns for Carolyn? No? Okay. And no one else in the public is requested to join us. So, okay, a motion from Susan and second by Bill. All in favor? For approved. Thank you. Thank you. Carolyn? Okay. Last but not least, our application B 3020 for consent at 92 Morgan Road, and the applicant is Brock Sills. And I do believe someone will be joining us from on that property as well, but it looks like it's similar to the last one there. There's a large piece of property and they are severing off a piece off that. And
Lot addition.
yeah, I'm just looking at the size of the lot.
Oh,
I'm not sure exactly how big
Huge.
it is.
13.94 hectares.
Okay, that's good. Okay, any questions, concerns? Mr. Sills, are you with us? Bill, do you have a question?
Yeah, I think this is the first time, thank you through the chair. I think this is the first time I've seen a request where there are a bunch of conditions attached, such as the financial requirements of the city with respect to tax arrears and or other outstanding charges levied against the subject property to be satisfied. So am I to take from the application that there's monies due to the city?
Greg, can maybe answer that?
No, actually, through to the chair to Councillor Sanderson, it is a fairly standard condition that we include just to make sure that we're not approving severances if something's outstanding.
Maybe it's just the first time it's caught my eye like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen it before.
Okay, Mr. Sills, do you have any comment?
No, I don't. No.
Okay, so you're just severing off a lot there for a residence or?
Yes, I own the property next to me and I'm just keeping it a little bit larger. I'm the fourth generation living there and I have 5 kids and I just like to keep it in the family as long as I can.
Okay, And any other questions, comments? No one else from the public?
I do.
So,
Pardon?
Brian?
Sorry? Sue?
Brian, I
Yes.
do.
Yes,
So it's designated farmland now, right?
It's zoned rural right now.
Oh, I'm looking at the application. It says farmland.
Mm,
Um,
where it says, Greg, is you?
I'm looking at page
Rick, what is it?
2 of COA-2020-26.
Yeah, the notation there, Sue, is present use is farmland. And a
Present
single-
use, but it's not,
Present farmland and single detached dwelling is the present use, and the
Mhm.
proposed use is severed farmland. So the severed is what's going to be the big piece that's being attached to the
Yes.
other piece, right?
but I think maybe the use is one thing, the zoning or whatever is different. Is that correct, Greg?
Andrew has a comment.
Brandon?
So the portion being added to the northern property, that's the severed portion.
Right.
And then the retained portion has the single.
Right,
But the
so-
zone itself,
Does that answer your question, Sue, or?
Well, I'm just thinking it's a whole, quite a sizable piece of property when it's all together. And I would hate to see something in the future prevent Brock from fulfilling his dream of having his family's homes in that area. I guess you would deal with that at that time.
I
The
don't think
application arose.
I didn't see anything unless I missed it about any zoning change or anything.
No, it was just a what if, right?
Okay,
Brock
oh,
says
sorry.
he's got 4
Okay.
children, and it sounds to me like he's hoping maybe his family in the future will build houses close to him. So, I mean, it's for the future, not now, but just a comment, I guess.
Okay, any further questions, comments, concerns, Andrew?
so the portion that's to be retained and has the house, that one will be required to be rezoned to a rural residential, and the remaining portion will remain as its current zoning.
Okay. Does that help?
Sure,
Okay. Any other questions, concerns, comments? Okay, if not, I don't think there's anyone else from the public that wishes to comment. Robert, are you making the motion that we approve it? And seconded by, Andrew, do you have a comment before?
I believe we might have someone that wants to speak about the application.
Okay, sorry. Is there someone else that wants to join us?
Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
You're here to make a comment regarding 92 Morgan Road, is that correct?
That's right. I just got one question. So, hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so my understanding would be that large property being serviced off the remaining, the larger portion would be merged to north side of the parcel. So become one piece of property, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Because it's a lot addition, right?
Yeah, a lot of it. Well, normally, we don't see two properties being joined together. Usually we sever, people want to sever more. So what is the really purpose of the joined two big parcels as one parcel? I'm just interested in.
Greg maybe can comment on that.
Hello. Yes, through the chair to the member of the public. The reason for severing, I guess, is to reconfigure the boundaries of the property to take the house off. Our official plan has a limit on the number of severances that you can have on a parcel. And this parcel has already met that limit. So not permitted to create yet another standalone lot, but they can reconfigure the lot lines so that it is added onto another piece. So at the beginning of the day, we're starting with 2 parcels, and at the end, we're finishing with 2 parcels. It's just changing the boundaries to allow the owner to retain more of the land.
So it's more like a lot line adjustment than anything, okay? Robert, do you have a question?
Okay, yeah, thank you.
You're on mute. You're on mute, Robert.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Susan was kicked out somehow, and she's not with us, Susan Smith, but she just typed something off to the side saying she's somehow dropped. I don't know if we can get her back in on the call.
She might have to sign
There-
back in.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
there she's back, you're back. Okay, you're good. Okay, so,
Robert made the motion.
okay, Mr. Wang, is that all your comments?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions, concerns, comments? If not, we'll go back. Robert, you were making the motion.
Yeah,
and-
I move to accept.
And Carol was seconding that, and all in favor of approving? Approved. Thank you. Okay, so that covers that part of our meeting. Our next item is confirmation of the minutes of our last meeting of October 15th, 2020. And do we have any, Bill, are you moving that be accepted? And
You're on mute.
Yes, I'm making the motion, yes.
Okay, and Susan, you're seconding that? All in favor of approving the minutes? Carried, thank you. And is there any correspondence other than what we've received, Greg? Any other business by any of the members? Our next meeting will be December the 17th at 3:30. However, there may be a property standards issue that we have to deal with. So when you get your minutes, you'll probably notice that the meeting will start at 3 rather than 3:30 next time. And if we have no further comments, questions, concerns, we'll ask for an adjournment.
What was the date of the next meeting?
December 17th,
Okay, thank you.
on
Sorry.
the bottom of your agenda, yeah. Okay, and an adjournment by Robert.
Yep.
Thanks very much to everyone, and we'll see you next month.